Alright, welcome student, welcome to our recorded class. And today is going to cover this topic. So we're going to cover the transform, random and curve nodes, right? Okay, let's get started. Alright, first let's start with the transform. Okay, so we have learned some previous nodes before this, replicator, offset nodes, right? So we need to create an object, so I'm going to create a cylinder here. I'm just gonna put it up here and just leave it there. Maybe make it a bit of taller, skinnier, and just freeze transform the transformation of this cylinder. And I'm gonna go to the mesh and apply the mesh effects, right? So here obviously you know about the distribute. You can bring up the list over here. Okay, you can distribute as much as you want, and you can do so many things, right? But what if if you want to move it around? Cannot, right? So what I did is just I'm moving the pivot. So how to actually move our procedural mesh animation? Or so what we're going to do is we need to apply the transform nodes. So click here and apply the transform nodes. Alright, so in the transform, so here you can actually dial in and you move, right? Okay, you can actually also interactively move the value by holding control and click and hold your middle mouse button at the number and then just slide the value like that interactively. Okay, so yeah, you can move it like this one by one. You can even animate it, you can even scale. So for example, you want to animate here, I can, let's see, I want to animate this. Can right click, can turn on the auto key, right click, set keys, move ahead, and then just slide over there, and now you have the animation, right? So I'm just going to delete this. Alright, so that's how you animate. And yeah, it looks like see if I turn off the transform node, if I go back to distribute, I mean, it seems like no different than an offset, right? So for example, if I put offset, it's kind of do the same thing, right? So what's the difference between this offset and transform? Okay, I'm going to delete. So turning back on the transform. So basically the difference is this one over here, controller now. So if you want to freely easily move the whole mesh network, you can right click here, or right click here and then choose create. This will create a new object here. See, it creates a mesh transform locator. Okay, so if I go back here, see, now it's all this value you cannot control already. Now it's being controlled by the mesh locator, and you can select the locator and when you move around you can do whatever you want. You can animate like normal, you know, like any 3D objects. You can even scale them, right? So that is the special thing about the transform node. Actually, the only thing that makes it unique, right? So if yeah, you can control the strength, see, like this, or random. So you can create some sort of a random motion here. You see, some have more strength, some have less strength. That can be a good kind of like floating debris or something that you want to animate. Yes, like stuff like that. So then you have the fall off object. Here's another thing. So you can apply, right click here, create a fall off, and you see as it pass by, it, you know, whatever hitting the in the region of this fall off shapes, right, it will effect and receive the transform effects here, see. But as it goes away, it goes back to normal. Now here's another cool thing about this thing. So if I select this, right, and then if I choose invert, obviously it already applied transform, but if it hits, it goes back to the original. Okay, so let's say I don't want to invert. Yeah, again here I've already shown you in the previous class. You can have like a cube or even a mesh. And then this one here, this is the interesting part. So because if I, you know, as it move away, it goes back to normal. What if I just want it to transform and then just leave it there? Then you can choose add. So as it pass by, see, it still stays there. Alright, so that's the interesting part. If I choose remove, the effect already happened, but when it hits, it goes back to normal. It becomes the opposite of add, right? See this one, adding, removing. All right, see. But if you go back to normal, you know, it just comes back again. All right. Okay, so that is basically things about transform. See, right? The unique thing about transform. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to cover the random. Okay.